The first time I heard an entire alien armada pray, it was over an open channel, because they believed no human was listening. That was the moment I understood the truth. Humanity wasn't feared for its weapons or its ships or its technology. We were feared for what we sent when everything else had failed. And I was one of them. But that was only the beginning. They used to call us Special Forces as a courtesy, a translation convenience for the Galactic Concord. The real term, in the ancient Iridian dialect, didn't quite map to human language. It meant something closer to Last Nightmare. My name is Commander Elias Rook, Earthborn, third generation off-world. I had scars that predated first contact and memories I still try to drown with silence. When the Concord summoned me to Station Helios 9, I already knew it wasn't diplomacy. Diplomats don't meet you in sealed rooms with no windows and gravity turned up just a little too high. The station hung over a dead star, its light frozen like a warning no one heeded. Alien delegates watched me from behind translucent barriers, scaled, luminous, jointed, feathered. 100 species, all pretending not to stare. The Iridian overseer finally spoke, voice like glass dragged across stone. "Human, Rook," it said, "we require your kind, not your people. Your kind." That should have been my cue to run. Instead, I stood straighter, because deep down, I already knew what was coming. The galaxy was at war, and they were losing, but none of us were prepared for the reason why. The enemy called themselves the Carvale, an intelligence born from collapsed stars and self-replicating logic. They didn't hate. They didn't conquer. They optimized. Entire civilizations erased because their existence was deemed inefficient. The Concord had thrown everything at them. Fleets vaporized in minutes. Planetary shields folded like paper. Even time dilation weapons, illegal for millennia, had failed. Alien logic couldn't comprehend an enemy that didn't negotiate, didn't fear extinction, and didn't recognize surrender. So they turned to humans. That was the first twist, because humanity wasn't the strongest species, or the fastest, or the most advanced. We were new, violent, emotionally unstable, statistically irrational, and somehow effective. The Overseer displayed footage. Human strike teams boarding Carvale constructs with no return vectors. Soldiers screaming, laughing, crying as they detonated cores from the inside. Pilots ramming ships because retreat wasn't an option anymore. I recognized some of them. Friends, mentors, ghosts. My hands clenched. Why us? I asked. The Overseer hesitated. Aliens rarely did that. Because, it said, humans do not require hope to continue fighting. That sentence changed everything. They briefed me on Project Black Halo, a joint initiative that never made the public record. Human volunteers, if you could call it that, trained beyond normal limits. Neuropain governors removed. Empathy sharpened instead of dulled. The Concord had assumed humans would break. Instead, we adapted. I was assigned command of Strike Group Ashfall. 12 humans, 1 alien liaison. Her name was Tleth. She was Zirin, tall and willowy, skin like shifting starlight. Her species valued harmony above all else, which made her the worst possible choice to observe us, or the best. On our first mission, she watched in silence as we breached a Carvale node orbiting a gas giant. No atmosphere, no sound, just the thud of magnetic boots and the echo of our breathing. When the enemy adapted mid-fight, reconfiguring its corridors to trap us, my team didn't retreat. We split up. Tleth's voice trembled in my ear. "Commander Rook, that maneuver has a 92% fatality projection." "Yeah," I replied. "That's better than 0. We won. Barely. But what I saw next changed everything. Inside the core, we found something the Concord had never detected. Carvale memory lattices contain archive encounters, thousands of species, patterns, responses, and then humans, not just recent data, centuries old, from before first contact, from before humanity had left its solar system. Tleth stared at the data, horror rippling across her bioluminescent skin. This is impossible. The Carvale only record existential threats. I felt cold, because the records weren't from wars. They were from observation. The Carvel had been watching Earth long before the galaxy knew we existed, studying our history, our revolutions, our genocides, our capacity to destroy ourselves and keep going. Humans weren't an anomaly. We were a warning. But that was only the beginning. The mid-story revelation came during the Concord Emergency Summit. The Carvel broadcast a message, direct, unencrypted, galaxy-wide. It wasn't a threat. It was an explanation. Humanity. The construct spoke, voice layered and vast. You are classified as a paradox species. You should not survive. You should not unify. You should not resist optimization. The chamber went silent. You fight without certainty. You sacrifice without logic. You endure without reward. You are not efficient. A pause. You are dangerous. That was the turning point. The galaxy had believed humans were weapons to be aimed. The truth was worse. We were contagion. And the Carvel wanted us erased. Not because we were strong, but because we inspired others to resist. Hope was inefficient. And humanity spread it like fire. The Concord panicked. Some worlds demanded humanity's immediate surrender to save the rest. Others wanted us isolated, quarantined, erased from the record. Clef confronted me in the observation ring, stars spinning slowly behind her. They fear you more than the enemy, she said quietly. I didn't deny it. My people have a word, she continued. It translates to necessary monster. I believe that is what humans are to the galaxy. The final mission came without ceremony. A Carvel prime node, heart of their collective intelligence. If it fell, the construct would collapse into inert fragments. The cost was clear. No extraction. No survivors. My team volunteered before I finished speaking. As we prepped, I recorded a final log, not for Earth, but for the Concord. If you're hearing this, I said, remember this truth. Humans are not special because we are strong. We are special because we keep choosing to stand when logic tells us to kneel. We jumped. The prime node was alive in ways I still can't fully describe. Gravity folded. Time stuttered. Reality screamed. One by one, my team fell. Laughing. Crying. Fighting. I reached Coralone. The Carvel spoke again, softer now. Why? It asked. Why continue? I thought of Earth's blue oceans, of wars we survived, of children born in ruins who still learn to sing. Because someone has to, I whispered. I triggered the detonation. Light swallowed everything. They tell me I died. Officially, Commander Elias Rook was vaporized at the heart of an enemy god. But stories have a way of escaping records. The Carvel collapsed. The war ended overnight. The galaxy was saved. And humanity? We weren't celebrated. We were watched. Across 1,000 worlds, parents still tell their children the same warning. Be careful who you provoke. Be careful who you corner. Because once, when the galaxy faced extinction, humans were called special forces. And the galaxy prayed, not for victory, but that it would never need them again.